The prosecution labeling this a criminal conspiracy. Where do our next guests see this going? With us now, former Assistant U.S. Attorney and Fox News contributor Andy McCarthy is here, and former Deputy Assistant Attorney General John Yoo. Great to have both of you gentlemen. Thanks for joining us. So first to you, Andy, where do you see this going next?
Well, obviously we're going to start with Pecker, who's going to be the first witness. I think Pecker and Michael Cohen are being offered basically to fill a big hole in Bragg's case. Bragg, his theory of the prosecution is that Trump stole the 2016 election, but he hasn't actually charged him with a conspiracy to do that, nor is trying to influence an election or suppress negative information a crime. And what he has charged are 34 book entries that didn't occur until 2017. So he's in the irrational position of trying to say the 2016 election was stolen by activity that took place the following year. He needs to try to persuade the jury that there's some kind of nefarious scheme that leads up to the 2016 election. And what Pecker and Cohen are for is to outline the discussions that they had about this catch and kill scheme to purchase the disclosure rights of these stories and bury them, which it may be unsavory. It's certainly the things that underlie those stories were unsavory, but that's not a crime.
Yeah, interesting, John, that the former president and his team are spending a lot of time as he steps out of the courtroom, just ripping into the credibility of this case. Well, this is former Attorney General Bill Barr. Can say he's not exactly a big Trump fan of the moment. Here he is ripping the hush money trial. Listen.
If he's convicted in New York, that thing is a travesty. It'll ultimately be overturned. That will come after the election. But there's, in my opinion, there's no crime there at all.
So where does the prosecution go with this, John?
Here's the problem for the prosecution. It's as Andy said, they're pounding the facts because they don't have the law on their side. This is one of those cases where actually Trump has the law, as the Attorney General Barr just mentioned, because the job of the DA in Manhattan is not to police federal elections. It's not the job of the DA to say, I'm going to enforce federal election law and I'm going to punish Donald Trump for things he might have did for a nationwide election. That's up to the U.S. Justice Department. That's up to the Federal Elections Commission. That's why, as I think Andy suggested, you're going to see the prosecution go over in excruciating detail all the sordid facts of this because they don't want the jury to ask, why is it that we're sitting in a New York City courtroom talking about federal election fraud, if any of that existed? This is not the right place and this is not the right forum. So I think Trump and I think Attorney General Barr are right. They have a really good case on appeal to get this overturned, although they may take after the election.
Yeah, I mean, and Andy, for the former president's part, when he steps out of that courtroom, what we continue to hear from him is, I should be campaigning. I mean, this is a huge detriment to his campaign not to be out on the trail while his the current president, Joe Biden, is. His continued claim that this is just not fair. You have to start to think that's going to resonate as people see the prosecution weaker in its case.
Yeah, Sandra, no one ever wants to be indicted, obviously, but these are the lemons he's got, and he's trying to turn them into lemonade. He's got a lot of free publicity, and I think he's got a very powerful message that we have a two-tier justice system. It's inconceivable that anyone other than Donald Trump, I'm tempted to say even any Republican other than Donald Trump, would have been prosecuted in this case. And Bragg waited 5 years to bring it so it would be timed for trial in the middle of the 2024 campaign.
All right, so John, bring this home for us. This resumes tomorrow morning. It will be another big day. What happens?
You're going to see the prosecution continue to bring on the National Enquirer, publisher David Pecker. Their effort is to try to show Trump and the head of National Enquirer and Michael Cohen engaged in this conspiracy to violate the election laws. People should be taking a step back and asking, why is this case, as Andy said, being brought on frivolous grounds, wouldn't be brought against any other person? It's being brought because it's targeting not just a former president, but a current candidate of the Republican Party for November 2024, where they're in the lead.
And Andy,
people should ask, why is that being done?
yeah, and they are. And Andy, a final word to you on that. That's another thing the former president has warned, the precedent that this sets. Final thought.
Yeah, and to John's point about how limited Bragg's jurisdiction is, Hillary Clinton won the 2016 election in New York substantially, and she won in Manhattan by about 80 points. So you have to ask, if this DA is undertaking to enforce federal law, on whose behalf is he doing that? Because he only represents Manhattan. He's not supposed to be bringing a case on behalf of all progressives across America who are disappointed that Hillary didn't win the election.
Andy, John, appreciate the discussion. Thanks to both of you for joining us.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.